Welcome to Knowledge Hub. I still remember the stories my grandmother told me about the mine explosion that changed everything. It was a day that started like any other, but then, in an instant, it became a nightmare. The ground shook, and the air filled with dust and chaos. Workers who had families, dreams, and lives were lost in that moment. But what they uncovered in the wreckage was even more shocking. Massive bird skeletons and strange metals that seemed to defy explanation. Bureau 749 swooped in, their interest piqued by the bizarre discoveries. They were known for their secretive research into aliens and superpowers, but what they found in that mine was beyond anything they could have imagined. Among the victims was a pregnant woman, my mother. She died giving birth to me, and I've often wondered if the explosion was somehow tied to my existence. 17 years have passed since that fateful day, and I've grown up with a sense of being different. It's not just the absence of my mother that haunts me, it's the strange occurrences that seem to follow me. I can feel the energy around me, almost like a current that pulses through my veins. I've had dreams, vivid, surreal dreams, where I soar through the sky, my body weightless, as if gravity has no hold on me. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, a way to escape the reality of my life. But then, things started to happen. Objects would move when I was angry or scared. I could sense things before they happened, like a sixth sense guiding me. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. I began to realize that my powers were somehow linked to that explosion, to the very moment my life began. I've spent years trying to understand what I am and what I can do. I've read everything I could find about the explosion, the Bureau, and the strange metals they recovered. I've pieced together fragments of information, but it's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. The more I learn, the more questions I have. What happened to my mother? What did the Bureau discover? And why me? As I stand on the brink of adulthood, I feel the weight of my destiny pressing down on me. I can't ignore the pull of my powers any longer. I need to uncover the truth about that day, about my mother, and about the legacy that has been thrust upon me. The world is full of mysteries, and I'm determined to unravel mine. I can't let fear hold me back. It's time to embrace who I am and the extraordinary journey that lies ahead.
I never thought my life would take such a turn. Growing up with David and Julia, my adoptive parents, felt like living in a bubble. They were former Bureau officials, and they did everything they could to keep me safe from the very world they once served. I remember the late-night conversations, the hushed tones, the way they glanced at each other when the Bureau was mentioned. They were always so careful, so protective. But now it seems that bubble has burst. The Bureau needs me. They say it's urgent, that there's a growing threat in the ocean, a sea monster, they call it. A creature so powerful it could endanger the entire planet. I can't help but feel a mix of disbelief and dread. A sea monster? It sounds like something out of a bad movie. But then again, I've seen enough to know that reality can be stranger than fiction. I've spent my life trying to distance myself from the Bureau, from the chaos and the danger that comes with it. I've watched my parents live in fear of what could happen if I were discovered. They've sacrificed so much to keep me hidden, to keep me safe. And now, they're being threatened. James, the Bureau chief, made it clear, cooperate or my parents will pay the price. It's not just about me anymore. It's about them. I can't let anything happen to David and Julia. They took me in when no one else would, gave me a home when I had none. They've shown me love and kindness, and now I'm supposed to turn my back on them? I can't do that. But how do I become a hero when I've spent my whole life running from that very idea? I'm not a soldier, not a fighter. I'm just a kid who wants to live a normal life. Yet here I am, caught in a web of duty and fear. The Bureau thinks I have some special ability, some connection to this monster. They believe I can communicate with it, understand it. But what if I can't? What if I make things worse? The weight of the world is on my shoulders, and I'm terrified. I've seen the destruction that unchecked power can cause, and I don't want to be a part of it. But I also can't stand by and watch my parents suffer because of my reluctance. I have to find a way to navigate this nightmare, to protect them while figuring out how to deal with this creature. Maybe there's a way to outsmart the Bureau, to use their own tactics against them. I'll have to dig deep, find the courage I didn't know I had. I can't let fear dictate my actions. I need to be strategic, to think ahead. If I'm going to face this monster, I'll do it on my terms. So here I am, standing at the edge of a decision that could change everything. It's time to confront my fears, to step into the unknown. I may not want to be a hero, but for David and Julia, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll fight for them, even if it means facing the monster lurking beneath the waves.
I never thought I'd be in a situation like this. One moment, I'm just Ma Shan, living my life, and the next, I'm the subject of experiments that awaken powers I never knew I had. It's surreal, really. I remember the first time it happened, my instincts kicked in, and suddenly, I could defend myself against those who were trying to control me. It felt like a surge of energy coursing through my veins, a primal force that I couldn't ignore. As the trials continued, I began to understand the connection between my powers and the monster that loomed over our town. It wasn't just some random creature. It was a manifestation of chaos, transforming our local birds into menacing threats. I watched as the skies darkened with these twisted forms, and I realized that I was somehow linked to this madness. The Bureau, with all their resources, figured out that if I could learn to harness my abilities, I might stand a chance against this beast. But it wasn't just about power, it was about control. I struggled with that. How could I embrace something that felt so foreign? That's when Janie, my childhood friend, stepped in. She always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. You have to embrace who you are, Ma Shan, she said. These powers are a part of you. They're not just a tool, they're your identity. Her words resonated deep within me. I realized that accepting my powers was the first step toward mastering them. As chaos unfolded around us, I felt the weight of responsibility on my shoulders. I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for everyone I cared about. The townspeople, my friends, and even the birds that had been twisted into monsters, they all deserved a chance to be free from this nightmare. I had to confront the monster, not just for them, but for my own sense of self. The day of the battle arrived, and I stood at the edge of the chaos, heart racing. I could feel the energy within me, a blend of fear and determination. I understood now that sacrifice was part of this journey. I had to be willing to put everything on the line to protect those I loved. As I faced the monster, I felt a surge of clarity. This wasn't just a fight, it was a defining moment. I had to channel my powers, not just to defeat the monster, but to redefine who I was. I was no longer just Ma Shan. I was a protector, a warrior, and I was ready to embrace my destiny. The battle would be fierce, but I knew that with every ounce of strength I had, I could save my world. If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world and helps us create even more amazing content for you.